Should we move these flowers?
Yeah, probably.
Kind of blocking you.
Hiding behind the flowers. Hey, it's Megan.
And Sue.
The Spine Breakers. And today we are going to do a read each other's favorite books thing. I can't talk today. We are going to choose one of our favorite books for the other one to read.
Yep. And we're going to be like vlogging about it, so we'll put all of that footage together, hopefully, and then talk about it at the end.
We'll do it.
But we thought it'd be fun to read each other's favorite books. We've already read some of them.
Yeah, because we have really similar books.
Yeah, it's like a lot of our favorite books are the same books.
True.
But we picked, obviously, ones that the other one hasn't read.
Right. So we're going to drink Escape Tropical Ale from Urban Chestnut. It's an ale with pineapple, mango, and passion fruit, and I'm loving like the 80s vibe I'm getting, or 90s vibe I'm getting.
And it has a pop top, which is very loud.
So loud.
Smells nice.
It does.
Cheers.
Cheers.
It's pretty good.
It's fairly pleasant.
I feel like I'm not a big mango fan,
Mm-hmm.
and I can taste the mango, and I'm not super
Not
into
loving
that, but it's okay.
Sorry.
We don't know what each other picked,
Right?
so I have my pick for you in this bag.
I'm ready. Okay. I don't want to look down until I actually like pull it out. The chrysalids. I'm really excited about this. By John Wyndham.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a dystopian, so I think you'll like it. It's set in this village where, like, if you have any kind of physical deformity, you disappear.
Oh.
And the same for, like, even livestock or plants. Everything has to be perfect.
Beautiful and perfect.
Yeah. And the main character has a deformity, sort of, but it's not visible. So
his penis is fun.
no, because when you're born, they examine, like,
Oh shit.
they examine babies after they're born, and if they find anything amiss,
You're out.
then you're out.
I'm very excited about that. Okay. Mine is in this bag and it's got
Should
an
I
open
just
top.
reach in?
Just reach in.
The Shadow of the Wind!
Carlos Ruiz Zafón.
I'm excited because this has been on my TBR for over a year. I was gonna read it last year and I never got to it. So I'm excited about
so good. It is a story of this this boy whose dad owns a bookstore in Barcelona in like 1945, and he really likes this book called The Shadow of the Wind, and it's by this like mysterious author. So he tries to find more books written by this author and kind of ends up on this rabbit trail. And he kind of opens a Pandora's box of kind of this dark, mysterious labyrinth of relationships.
Interesting. I've heard
things.
really good things about this from lots of people. So
Carlos
I'm
Ruiz Zafón
excited.
writes beautifully, but yeah, it's very gothic.
So anyway, that's kind of our intro, and we'll commence to vlogging when we actually read these
Yeah, we start reading these books, so
Yeah, vlogging commence.
vlogging go.
Hey, so I'm checking in on reading The Shadow of the Wind. I'm only like 25 pages into it, but so far the writing style is quite lovely. I like that the chapters are really short because I'm one of those people that I have to end at the end of a chapter before I'll put a book down. And so I feel like I read books with shorter chapters faster because I'm more likely to be like, oh, just one more chapter. You know what I mean? At one point they're describing this man's plight to find the books by this author, and it kind of reminded me of myself trying to find Colin McKay books. So relatable there, but so far so good.
Hello, so I am currently reading The Chrysalids. If you cannot tell by my lovely appearance and my snazzy voice, I am sick. So I'm just sitting on the couch. I have a cup of tea. Oh, Sasha's going. Oh, no, okay. Sasha's gonna lay right there, keep me company. And I've got a cup of tea that I just made. because T fixes almost everything. And Murphy's laying up here with me. There's Noodle Boy. So I am like, I forgot to start vlogging when I started reading this, like in true Megan fashion, but I'm 56 pages into this. So it's really interesting so far. The boy's father is like a religious zealot, so he's real big on the whole, you know, fuck everything different thing. Like even people within his own society think of him as a bigot. So far I really like this. I've been in like a reading slump lately. I've just been having a really hard time focusing and concentrating. I don't know why. Like, I really like this book. The writing is good. The story is super interesting. But it's pretty much just been like any book I've tried to read lately. I just have a hard time concentrating. But I have been like extra stressed out lately just because of work stuff. And so that probably has something to do with it. And right now I'm sick, so who knows. But I am snuggled in on the sofa with the fur babies and my cup of tea, and I'm reading. So this is a really short book. It's only like 200 pages long. So in theory, if I weren't a reading fuck up right now, this would be a really quick read. We'll see how far I can get today, this day, because tomorrow Sue and I are starting Sequelathon, so I'll be busy with that. I probably won't be reading this a whole lot because I will be getting on those sequels.
So it's been a while. It's probably been over a week since I started this book, and I'm only like 130 pages into it. Oops. I'm having a hard time getting into it. I'm hoping that changes. Right now, I'm just like, I don't like the main character. And I'm hoping that he gets better, but right now he's like a little dumbass teenage kid, and he's just kind of pissing me off. Because, I mean, at first, he was being a little punk-ass kid, and then he redeemed himself and was fine again, and then it's like as soon as he sees a pretty girl, I lost all respect for him. It's like, dude. So I'm hoping that as he grows up, he will be less of a twat. And then the story itself, like the rest of the story and the kind of mystery involved, it's kind of intriguing, but I'm not like super into that either. But hopefully that gets more interesting too. I don't know. I'm having a bit of a rough time because this isn't a difficult novel. It's a quick read. It should be a quick read, rather, but I just haven't been picking it up. Fingers crossed that it gets better and that I get more into it. So I'm halfway through The Shadow of the Wind now, and I don't know, I'm still not loving it. I will say that the story has gotten much more intriguing, and I do want to know what happens, but I'm still not feeling super compelled to read it. I think part of the problem is that I just find the main character, Daniel, to be incredibly dull. He has pretty much no personality, so I don't care about him. The other characters are okay, but not great, in my opinion. So, I don't know, we'll see. I feel kind of bad. This is the trouble with like reading your friend's favorite books, is that I feel bad if I don't love them as much as they do, you know? And I'm guessing since I'm halfway through this book and still not loving it, that I'm probably not gonna love it as much as Megan does, but we'll see. I did it! I finished the book! Yes! I almost hit myself in the face with it.
So it is Saturday night, and I'm sitting on the couch with Murphy. It thundered once, so like literally it thundered one time, and it was a small thunder. But we're a little nervous. Also, he's like on the prowl right now for sky raisins because he's been on them all day trying to catch flies. He's not very good at it, but he tries really hard. And so he's the best fly hunter in the whole world. I am getting ready to read to finish the chrysalids, which I've been working on for a while. And I just have been in like a weird place, like reading wise, where like nothing sounds good and like I haven't been super motivated. So I've been reading it for fucking ever, but it's not because it's bad. It's just because I just haven't been on my A game with the readings. But so I'm going to sit here, and I don't have like far to go in it. Like just that little bit is all I've got left. And it's really good. I like it so far. I do really enjoy the writing style. And I'm looking forward to finding out like how this ends. I don't know how to talk about this without spoiling it. Just look at how cute he is. He's probably the most handsome in the whole world. I think he knows it.
Okay, so we're finally back.
Finally. That was my bad because I took for fucking ever to finish the chrysalids. So, but we're back.
We're going to give our final thoughts on these books.
We are. But while we do, we're going to drink
do
this Peach Love and Happiness by SweetWater Brewing Company.
So this will have, video will probably have 2 beers in it.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, and this is Berliner Weiss. And it's pretty tart.
It is pretty tart.
I don't love it, but I don't hate it.
Samesies.
It barely tastes like peach to me. I feel like the tartness just kind of overwhelms it a little,
the peach.
But it's okay. It's not a bad Berliner Weiss.
It's okay.
Is it Weiss? Berliner Weiss. So, how did you feel about the chrysalids?
I actually really enjoyed the chrysalids, which you wouldn't know because it took me forever to read it. I was in a weird reading funk, but I did really like this. I liked the plot a lot, and I thought it was super interesting. I wasn't like super attached to any of the characters, though.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, but I thought it was like really well written, and it's kind of fits in with like the current day horror, living in a like religiously controlled society that like shits on deviations, you know. So it was timely.
Right. Yeah, and I thought it was interesting because, you know, people in society also who have physical deformities are often thought of as bad or evil, especially in books and movies.
Yeah, like the ugly characters
have some sort of deformity or something, which is a pretty harmful stereotype.
Absolutely.
What do you think about the ending? Because the ending's weird.
The ending is weird, and I don't know how I felt about it. Like, the way that they, like, came in and rescued them, like, what was that?
Well, yeah, and I do think that this book is very subtle about the fact that there has been, like, a nuclear apocalypse. Like, if you could read this and not pick up on that, I think.
Yeah, unless you, like, because there's subtle, like, they mention things subtly, like, there are parts of the country that are, like, dead zones, or black and ruined, and then, like, the deformities that people have, or, like, mutations. But yeah, like, it is really subtle.
Yeah, and it was, I felt the ending almost was a little bit unsatisfying to me because I wanted to learn more about the rest of the world. And you don't see where they're going or anything like that.
No. I found the ending, like, kind of satisfying. Like, I was bummed out that a couple of characters, like, got left behind. But I mean, I get it, but it was kind of a bummer. But I also wasn't really emotionally attached to any of them, which is really my only bitch about this book.
Anything else?
I think I gave it 4 stars.
I think that's actually what I gave it when I read it, but it was kind of one of those books that really stuck with me. And so going back, I feel like it deserved at least 4.5 stars from me.
I think that's fair. It was very, like, I really loved the writing, and the plot was super interesting.
Yeah. I read The Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. And from our vlogging, you probably already know how I felt about this book, but unfortunately, I really did not like this. And I feel like I must have missed something because, like, so many people on BookTube love this book. And I am like, it's one of those things where I'm like, it must be me. Like, I must have missed something. But I don't know. I just thought that the main character was extremely dull. He had, like, Daniel, he had, like, no personality, unless you count falling in love with every girl that's nice to him and being really bad at keeping secrets. And then
the plot twist, which like maybe it wasn't supposed to be a twist, I don't know, but like literally the character, the mysterious character that shows up at the beginning of the book, my first thought on who that person might be is who it ended up being.
Right.
And so I was like, well, that was anticlimactic.
I didn't think of it as a plot twist, but if it was supposed to be, yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah,
but
I don't know. I mean, the writing was nice, but I wasn't like blown away by the writing style either, which I hear a lot of people say it's so beautifully written. I wasn't that impressed. I mean, it was well, you know, obviously the writing style was nice. And then like, I think what really pissed me off about it though was, I mean, there's a lot of sexism in it, and you warned me of that beforehand.
Yep.
But it was more than I was expecting.
It's a lot.
And then the one thing that like was really like just pissed me off at the end is when they do like the little recap of like where are they now for all the characters, and the one woman who he had been in love with when he was a teenager at the time, and she was like in her 20s. So of course she didn't return those feelings.
Right.
If she had, it would have been creepy.
Yeah.
So he was rejected by her. And then at the end, her story was like, oh, she ruined herself, and the man that she was with then is now a prostitute, is like a male prostitute. And I was like, what the fuck?
How did this happen?
How dare she
Reject
this teenage boy, you know? It just seemed like it was like we were supposed to dislike her, and I didn't really understand why we were supposed to dislike her, I guess. Because I'm like, all she did was be nice to a teenage boy.
And then not reciprocate his creepy advances. Like, it would have been creepy if she would have reciprocated.
Yeah. And Daniel just pissed me off multiple times because he was like, he had no respect for the library or for the cemetery of forgotten books.
None.
He had no respect.
No respect.
Like, he
gets
gave
better.
away his book, and then when he meets the other girl, he immediately shows it to her whenever it's supposed to be a big secret. And I'm like, this kid is the worst.
He gets better, but yeah, like, he's not great in that book.
Yeah, so I just really disliked him. I thought the mystery and all that was like mostly pretty predictable. And so I just didn't get the appeal. I ended up giving it 2 stars.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I love that book, but I mean, I can definitely see why somebody wouldn't like it. Like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, everything you're saying, like, it makes complete sense.
Yeah.
But I think Furman, is what made it. I
had mixed feelings about Furman. He was funny, and definitely was the most interesting character. But he also would say horrible things about women sometimes. Yeah. So it was like, kind of like, also fuck this guy.
Also fuck this guy. Yeah.
And then I also didn't really understand the point of his connection to the whole thing either.
And that comes later too.
Okay.
Yeah, that all gets explained. I don't remember what book it is, if it's 2 or 3.
Well, chances are I won't be reading those books.
Probably not. Wow.
Yeah, I just really didn't like it, and I felt bad. I didn't like it. I was like, oh no.
Oh no. No, I think like,
and it was on my TBR anyway, so I was planning to read it anyway because I'd heard so many good things about it from multiple people, and I was just like, maybe my expectations were too high. I don't know.
Maybe.
I was very disappointed.
Wah, wah.
So those were my feelings on The Shadow of the Wind.
That's fair. Luckily, neither one of us is somebody who gets mad if someone doesn't like a book that we like. So.
Yeah.
I mean, and that, like I said, everything you're saying is fair. There's a lot of sexism in there.
And like a certain amount would be like, I could brush it off. But I felt like it was just a little bit too much for me.
There was a lot.
And the thing that just really, really pissed me off was that ending with her, what was her name, Caroline or something?
I think so.
With her, Clara's where are they now thing. I was like, wow.
Okay. Fuck you, Clara.
Yeah. Fuck Clara for not wanting to be with a 15-year-old boy. But anyway.
Anyhow. So that was our first go. We're gonna do this again, so
hopefully I'll not hate the next book, because then I would feel extra terrible.
I'll choose carefully.
So we hope you guys enjoyed this. And if you've read either of those books, share your thoughts with us.
Yeah, let us know what you think.
We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.